All right, let's talk about risk. But I'm not talking about the kind of risk that lives in some dusty old binder on a shelf. No, we're going to talk about how to transform risk from something that keeps you up at night into a real strategic advantage. Let's dive right in. So, I'm sure your organization has a risk management plan, right? Of course it does. But let's be real for a second. What happens when something truly unexpected hits? Is your business actually prepared for those shocks that never show up on a spreadsheet? That's the exact gap we're exploring today. The huge difference between just talking about risk and being genuinely resilient. You know, the biggest dangers are often the ones you can't even see. I mean, think about your supply chain for a minute. What if your most important supplier depends entirely on their own single source for a critical part? That's what we call Tier 2 exposure. It's a massive vulnerability that's buried one level deep, totally out of your sight. Now, you add in the possibility of logistics nightmares or a cyber attack on one of your vendors, and you start to see just how fragile things can get, and fast. But here's the good news. There is a much, much better way to handle this. In this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to pull risk out of the shadows and put it right at the very heart of your strategy, building a business that's way more agile and resilient. Okay, so this all starts with a pretty fundamental shift in how we even think about risk. This isn't just about ticking boxes for compliance. It's about building a whole new strategic mindset that sees uncertainty not as a threat, but as an opportunity. And this is what we call strategic risk management. The key word here, and I mean the real key, is integration. This is not some separate department that everyone tries to avoid, the Department of No. It's more like a lens that gets built into every single decision, making your entire organization smarter and a whole lot tougher. I mean, this slide just lays it out perfectly. The old way, risk is just a roadblock, a cost center, something that slows everything down. But the new way, it's a total game changer. It turns risk into an engine for growth. See, it's not about avoiding risk altogether. It's about understanding it so well that you can confidently take the right risks to grow your business and build resilience that actually lasts. So you might be asking, how do we actually do this? How do we put it into practice? Well, let's open up the Resilience Toolkit and look at some simple tools that can make a huge difference. And you might be thinking this is going to require some super complex, expensive new system. But nope, that's not it at all. The real power here is in 3 surprisingly simple, yet incredibly powerful tools. These can help literally anyone get a better handle on very complex problems and start building resilience today. Okay, first up, risk maps. These help you visualize all your risks so you can prioritize what truly matters. Second, supplier scorecards. Think of these as your early warning system to spot the weak links in your supply chain. And third, trigger thresholds. These are so cool. They basically automate your response plan, putting controls in place before a small problem can blow up into a full-blown crisis. And this isn't just theory, okay? This stuff is being used in the real world right now. For example, there's an electronics plant in Pinning that uses these supplier scorecards to constantly monitor its chip suppliers. Because of that, they can anticipate shortages and adjust their strategy long before their production line is ever at risk. Pretty smart, right? And it's not just for supply chains, not by a long shot. A major palm oil exporter used trigger thresholds to react to sudden, out-of-the-blue changes in government export policies, the kind of thing that could cause massive financial damage. So you can see, this framework can help you navigate pretty much any kind of uncertainty. So you've got the tools, you understand the mindset, but what's the ultimate goal here? Well, it's all about moving from just having insights to actually taking action. It's about creating a clear line of sight from the boardroom all the way down to the front line. This is what we mean by a clear line of sight, and it's absolutely critical. Without it, the board is basically flying blind, making decisions that are totally disconnected from reality. But with it, whoa, strategy directly informs day-to-day action. And just as important, the insights from the front lines flow right back up to shape the strategy. It becomes this really powerful feedback loop. And the payoff for getting this right is huge. You don't just protect the value you've already created, you enable sustainable growth. You build true, lasting organizational resilience. And maybe the best part? You do all of this without slowing the business down. You actually become faster, smarter, and a whole lot stronger. So let me leave you with this question. Is your organization just managing risk, or are you building strategic resilience? The answer to that question will really determine whether you're playing defense or whether you're playing to win.